Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Desi in Deutschland. My name is Swapna. I live in Germany and I make videos about life in Germany. So guys, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing it because I make really valuable content for job search and Germany's lifestyle. It's gonna really help you out to give you some insight about what happens, how to search job and what happens in Germany after moving. Recently, I have created one series called Road to Germany. In that series, I'm making step by step approach how you will find out the job and what are the steps that you will take to move to the Germany. Now, in my last video, I have spoken about what are the challenges that you will face when you will step in, when you will move and when you will arrive in the Germany. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about childcare because many people move with their family and with their children, and this is new country and new language, and we as an adult we know how to deal with the situation, but kids they don't. And you have to start their school, their kindergartens, and what is the step that you have to take when you move with your family. So this video is going to be really informative for the people who are moving Germany with their kids, and what kind of structure and what kind of process they follow for admission. So for this discussion, I'm going to invite my dearest friend and let's talk to her and find out what kind of experience she had when she moved to Germany with her family. Let's go. So everyone, welcome to my channel Desi in Deutschland. Today's call is going to be really special because I'm going to have this call with my dearest friend, and she also lives in Germany, and let's find out how was her experience with moving and with everything. So welcome Darshana to my channel. How are you?
I'm fine, Swapna. I'm very excited and thank you for having me here.
It's my pleasure. Would you like to say something about yourself?
Yeah, so just to give a background, of course, you've told my name. I'm Darshana, and I was in Manchester, England before moving to Germany. We lived there for about 5 years, 6 years, and now we are in Germany for say 1.5 years now, a year and a half. And I moved to Germany with my 2-year-old daughter and my husband who has got a job here.
This is amazing. You were the strongest support for us for all the details because you moved before us and then we asked everything, and it was really such a great help for us for moving. So, Darshana, when you guys moved, what kind of experience you had? Like, in terms of having a 2 years old daughter with you, and she wasn't 2 years old, I guess, that time. She's 2 years old
No.
now. So
Yeah.
how was your experience with that, and how did you find out here?
So we were fortunate to have one of our friends before we moved to Germany. Having lived in Manchester for so many years, we were a bit nervous. Having moved to Munich was not easy as such when we thought about it, because we had a 10-month-old infant with us. And having lived in Manchester for so many years, we thought, are we making the right decision? Fortunately, we had a friend here, a family who we knew before, and they also moved a year before us. So we had one, familiar family who we could ask things. It was difficult in terms of searching a place to live. We had heard that it would be difficult because we were moving in times of Corona. So to find a place to live is difficult in the city we live. It takes a lot of time. So we stayed in a service apartment for about 2 months before finding a place. Staying in a service apartment again has its own challenges with an infant, because we had to figure out her food, her day-to-day activities, taking her out, and it was just both of us. In Manchester, I had my mom, but then she went back to India and we came here. So I think food was one major challenge. Of course, language, because we were not knowing German. I'm still learning, so German language was an issue. And of course, when you come to a totally new place, you have questions regarding, where will we go, how will we find out everything regarding our day-to-day necessities and stuff. So that the initial struggle, to be comfortable was there.
Right. So your daughter was like 10 months old when you guys moved. So as a mother, what kind of challenges you face? Because for making this video is just to make familiar everyone who are watching this video, who are having kids. They can get some idea like what kind of challenges people can face who are having kids. So as a mother, because of course daddy might be working, because his half of the time goes in office and working. So what was the challenges that you face specifically having a daughter, and regarding all the activities, like everyday activities?
For me, the major thing was to be alone, managing things with her, cooking and doing day-to-day chores, household chores, and managing her. Because even after I had my daughter, I had my mom with me, so that was a big support, moral support, as well as help with your physical chores. So that was one thing which bothered me the most, because I had to leave her, and because it was a service apartment, it was a 2-floored service apartment. We had a bedroom downstairs, and upstairs was say a small living room kind of a place. So baby proofing that apartment was a little challenge, because we couldn't make major changes because it was a service apartment. So that was one thing. And then being with her on my own was one thing. Then we could find out local groceries and stores where we could buy stuff from, but that was comparatively easier. So one more thing, in Germany, if you go to supermarkets, everything is mentioned in their local language. So even when you want to buy a product, you have to check ingredients about what it has, because we are vegetarians, so we were a little bit cautious about what we buy. So I had to carry my phone everywhere using Google Translate. Thanks. God for that. And I could translate things and then buy products. But of course, initially when you see everything written in Deutsch, you wonder that what products are these.
Exactly.
So that was one thing which took time to get accustomed to.
Mostly in the winters, temperature goes really down. So sometimes also it is snowing. So how do you manage? Like, how do you prepare your daughter to take her out? Do you like put so many layers, or top to bottom covered like that?
Because the temperature goes sometimes in -5, -6. I'm talking about peak winters, but otherwise also it is like pretty cold. So it is good to put on some layers, get covered, and there are actually very suitable clothing which you'll get here with regards to specifically which suits children. So you can probably put on some 2 to 3 layers inside, and then there's one snowsuit which you can put on, which is from top to bottom. The kids are covered. Then you have waterproof gloves, and there are mud pants which you can put kids, and then you can still take them out. So what I've seen here is, even in winters, even when it is snowing, kids are out playing in the snow with proper clothing on. It is fun actually. They like doing that, and what I love the most is despite the weather, there is still a culture of going out and being outdoors.
Were you able to get all the things that your daughter eats in supermarkets, or is there something that you have seen different from India that you can't get here?
Not really. So you get all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And you also have Indian groceries here. So I think basically whatever atta, dal, chawal you need for your Indian pantry, you'll get it here. There are a lot of online sites as well where you can order your groceries and they deliver it to your home. Regarding the local stores here, they also have pretty wide variety of food suitable for vegetarians. So I'm sure even it covers for people who eat non-vegetarian.
That's a really great insight about your experience and how did you guys manage. Actually, this is really helpful to the people who are moving with kids and family, and all these insights are gonna really help them. Related to the same point, I would like to ask Darshana. So when you guys moved here, your daughter was just 10 months old, and of course you guys also might be worried about how to start school because there is a such language problem. So how did you guys manage? How did you find out school, and what was the process that you guys followed? So we would like to hear that, please.
Well, one thing I would like to mention first is Swapna, that here if you talk about proper school, that starts when your child is 6 years of age. So we were at a friend's place and we got talking, and as I mentioned before, there was a family who moved a year before us. So they told us about these childcare options which you have for your kids. And we were told that here there are distinct types where you can send your kid to. So one is of course preschool and one is daycare, which they call Kinderkrippe here. So Kinderkrippe is a creche, a daycare kind of a setting where you can...
Kita, also the word they use.
Yes. So it's a long word in German which is called as Kindertagesstätte, which I might not pronounce. I'm sorry for that if it is not a correct one. But yeah, the short form is Kita. So these all three collectively are called as Kita.
Kita, it's like a daycare.
Yes. So under Kita comes everything: Kinderkrippe, kindergarten, and there is after school care as well. So just to break it down, so when your child is born, so you can say from 3 months or 6 months of age, you can start sending your child to a daycare which is called as Kinderkrippe, and they are there till when they are 3 years of age. And there are educators, is what they call here, not teachers. They take care of them, and they are certified educators, so they are professionals. And you don't have to send your child to a Kinderkrippe, but of course it has its own advantages. So when we got to know about it, we thought it is really a good idea to send her there. Of course we were not ready to send her, of course, at that time, but we were waiting that if she's around a year and a half, but that was a personal choice, we could send her to a Kinderkrippe. For us, it was mainly because she could pick up the local language pretty quickly, because kids that age are very sharp, and that is a perfect age for them to learn a language. We used to talk to her in our mother tongue, but of course she could learn German in Kinderkrippe.
Yes.
They do various activities there, so it is not just a daycare where they just eat and sleep. By the way, they sleep as well. There are like small cute beds there where they can sleep. A lot of Kinderkrippe provide food to children. but you can also send your own food. Of course, it's a personal choice, and you can also ask.
Quite a lot of activities they do there. Uh, on this point, Darshana, I would like to ask you, if you go back and if you could explain how did you find out the daycare at the first place? Because I know that there is quite a lot of issue to finding the daycare also. So if you could walk through us from the stage one, like how did you find out, how did you apply, and then how did she get the place, how did she get the place in the current school where she's going? That is quite knowledgeable thing if you could provide us.
Okay. So first, as I mentioned, we were guided by one of our friends, but there is a dedicated website where you can find these kinderkrippes, and that is kita.de. That is one.
Kita portal also, people.
Yes, Kita portal. Yeah, that's the one. So you can find a lot of information on that website itself. There are different filters where you can put the age of your child. First you'll have to register there, and then you can, using the different filters, you can find which are the options in your area. You can use that portal to find out different kitas and then apply through that website. So what I have understood is that is one important registration you need to do to start with. So register your child, fill up the forms on that website.
That is the first step. If you wanna get any admission to any kindergarten, that is the first thing that you have to do, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's different to different cities, right? Kita portal.
Yes. So every state has their own system. The one I'm talking about is the system which exists in Bavaria. So I will talk Bavaria per se because that is where my experience lies. So yeah, that was the first step where you register your child to, and then once you get the list of schools there, list of daycare centers, you can apply through Kita portal. And also once you've got their details, what we did is we also personally contacted them through email or phone, whichever is they mention it. And sometimes you can also go to the institute, but of course in current times with the COVID situation, that was not encouraged. So we used to call often, and Swapna, to be honest, it was like a job application, I felt, because we used to apply to multiple kinderkrippes in a day,
and there was anxiety as well whether we will get it or not. So I know.
So it is really difficult to get through a place, because there are literally couples who, when they get pregnant, they start registering and finding for a spot for their kid. We took almost a year to get a place for my daughter. And
so that's the time that you have to
keep following. So how I got through is, apart from doing all these, none of these things worked. I contacted them through Kita portal, didn't work, but we used to personally call them multiple times as well. And then with one of the parents' reference, we went to the school personally, we went to the kinderkrippe personally, and then asked them, apart from the calls we made. And then we were told that they have a place, but again they told us to contact through email. And we did that, and after a month we again got a reply saying that they have a place. After 3 months we got the email. So after 3 months there was a place, and we registered for it. So I would say from the time we started searching and the time she went to kinderkrippe, it took almost a year.
So
yeah,
Just to summarize it, I would say first step, apply through with Kita portal, register there, apply to the nurseries that you are looking for near your address or your favorite places. And once it is applied, you have to, if possible, call them, email them, keep following them. And sometimes reference also works. So if you get referenced, if you get a reference, then possibly there are chances that you might get a nursery. So these three things are like quite important when you are in the process of applying nurseries or kita. It when you were in the process, Darshana, so when you applied in all the nurseries that you are actually looking for because they are close to your house or like minimum in the minimum distance that you can travel, and when you really hope that okay, if we should get this nursery, but what kind of response did you get, and did you, what are the chances that you will get the nursery that you are looking for?
So it was like if you apply for 10 different nurseries, you might get response from 2 or 3 saying that we don't have a spot right now currently, but we'll keep your application in the waiting list or a waiting pool, and then we'll contact you accordingly. Normally their year starts from September, even for Kinderkrippe. So September, if you have to start, then they finish allocating places in February, max till March. So March is the limit. And then what parents do is they start applying from December, Jan, Feb. So in February, say from December to March, of course, various schools have different slots for open houses where you can go and check out the school and then submit your application, ask your questions. Because of COVID, a lot of, for at least from the time we've moved for 2 years, it was always an online open house session. So you can ask your questions and then apply, and then they'll reply if they have a place. Sometimes you don't even get a, reply from them. But this is how it goes.
If you want something, some kindergarten or nursery like that, so you have to keep following them and follow those 3 steps, and possibly you might get one. Sometimes if it is like that, you have to accept, because after September is the month when kindergarten session starts.
Starts, yes.
Before that, you have to find out. If you're lucky, you will get one. But yes, the problem is there. Problem is there. You have to keep proactively following up.
So mostly they allocate all the places in March for that year, September intake. So even after you miss the deadline, you just keep following them and keep asking them if there are any places which are spots available in between middle of the year somewhere if someone is moving. So there is always a chance, a rare chance, but there's always a chance.
Just to stretch this point, I would like to ask, what kind of kindergartens and nurseries are there, like in terms of fees and in terms of if you get some help from government or something like that?
Okay, talking about the kitas and kinderkrippe, kitas, say for example, there are private kitas and there are public ones. Public ones are funded by the municipalities, and private ones are of course owned by private entities. You can select kita on basis of that first, whether you want to go for a public one or a private one. Even in those 2 types, there are different concepts which a kindergarten and a krippe follow. Say one of it would be integrative kitas, where even disability is taken care of. Then there are bilingual ones where it is English, mostly English and German, but it could be German and French. So German would be a constant language, and along with that there'll be different foreign language, which are bilingual institutes. I think these are the basic bifurcations. There are few semi-private as well, where you have to pay some amount of the care, and then the rest is funded by the government. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is Bavaria, how it works in Bavaria, but every state has different fundings. So, but where we live, we have to give an amount even in public. So that again, that differs. So roughly about, if I have to put an amount, it would be anything between 80 to 120 euros. The basic ones, and that doesn't include hygiene.
Differs. And the amount
and it differs, largely differs, but and again, it doesn't have any food expenses included, and hygiene cost if they have anything else.
We would say separate. This is like approx range.
That would be the approx range if you're looking for a public one. The private ones are way expensive. From our experience, what we found out, it would be more than 800 euros per month. And again, these are also considered, the costs are considered on basis of how many hours you send them. So we send our daughter for roughly about 5 to 6 hours. And this is the amount I'm talking about, for 5 to 6 hours.
Once you get the seat, and then what process you have to follow once you get the seat?
Once you get a seat, they will ask you your basic information. You'll have few forms to fill up, and for us, there was a contract for a year, which you have a binding contract. Which we have to sign, and they'll mention all the terms and conditions in the contract with regards to what happens if you get out of the contract, how much you have to pay, or what are the fee restrictions they have in place, what kind of food they provide, if they provide. For us, it was easier because we were told that they'll provide vegetarian food, and we didn't want to send food from home, because then all the kids, what they do is they sit together on the table and they eat. So we didn't want her to feel that I'm getting something different, and they are getting something different, so she's not eating out of a tiffin box. So it is personal choice, but you have all these information in the contract. Also a few information about the holidays, and I think fee structure is what I covered here. That fee, how the fee structure works. So basically, all your information will be in the contract. You sign that, and you have to submit that. After that, they will also sign the same contract and give you a copy. And then that's much about it. When you start with your spot. If you have time, they sometimes call you for a short talk to show you around and to give you information about how the process works. They also, a lot of Kinderkrippe also have a set routine where they'll explain you that this is when the kids come to school. After this, you cannot drop them, and then they have their morning routine. Some kids brush their teeth and wash their hands. They sit for breakfast. Then they have some few activities, painting, music, or they go out for play. They come back, they eat their lunch, and then they sleep for some time, nap time, depending on how young or older the kids are. So this is how it was for us. And then she started with her Krippe after 15 days. After this initial
was there any orientation program?
This is what it was, a very short orientation where they just showed us around, but because of COVID, it was not a proper orientation session. But when they have open house, that is more. In the open house, there is more of the orientation thing you're talking about. So you already know where you're sending your child to before filling up an application form.
So that was the final stage. And just one question, that how was it once your daughter started going to kindergarten, and how was the experience? Are you getting enough time, and is she happy in the kindergarten, and what is your experience after that once she started going to kindergarten?
Yeah, sorry, just Swapna, I forgot one point in your previous question is, in Germany, they have a list of vaccination which you're supposed to give to your kids. So before they start their school, they have to go through all the vaccinations according to their age, whatever till their age, whatever vaccines they are supposed to take. They'll take your child only if you're finished with the vaccinations.
Right.
So that was one point I forgot adding.
Yeah.
And now to answer this question, so there is a period where you go with your child to the crippe. Now my daughter was say a year old when she started going, a year and a half actually, and she had never been to such setting before. So she was she was at home with me. So I went with her for a week, and they said we'll see how it goes with her. So she was quite happy initially. She used to go and play. I used to sit in one corner, and she was playing with other kids. Slowly they start the separating process, as they talk about. So they'll send the parent out. They sent me out for half an hour, and she was happy playing then. And then again they'll increase the time, say for an hour. And I was in the school, but I was sitting out in the reception area, and she was inside. So when they actually started, say for more than an hour, she cried a bit for a few days. But then there was no going back. I couldn't go back to the class because that would work reverse.
Have to go through with this,
Yeah. So that was one painful experience I went through, because that was the first time I left my daughter with someone else, all alone. And she also took a bit of time to adjust. But then she was fine. Now she loves going there, because she knows her environment, her surrounding, her educators, friends. I think from that, for that particular time, it is very normal, because they feel that my parents will not come back to pick me up, and I am with a very new set of people. So they don't know what is going on. So, but that's quite normal. And the educators there took really good care of her, and we were like pretty happy with that. So we didn't have any problems adjusting her there.
So that's a big thing. Once your kid starts going to kindergarten, they are independent now for some time, and they are taking care of themselves. And yes, there are many advantages, and it helps them for their development. So it is really good thing when they go to kindergarten. And as you said, after they are enrolled, so they have to go to kindergarten for 3 more years, and once they turn 6 years old, they have to start their proper schooling. So here school starts after when kids are proper 6 years old. So that's the thing. So probably for school and school structure, we will cover this point in some other video. I think we've got huge information and huge points covered in this video. It was really pleasant talking with you, Darshana. Thanks for sharing your throughout experience with us. And we've got so much valuable details from you, and I am sure that this information is going to help so many people, so many new parents here, and they can actually consider it while enrolling their kid to kindergarten. Thanks so much, Darshana, for your time and coming to my channel and sharing all these details with us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Swapna. I think I should also thank you for arranging such a thing wherein the parents who are totally new will hopefully get some information and will benefit out of this video. All your efforts are really helpful for all those parents. So thank you for having me here and making this video. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything to my subscribers?
Yes, please subscribe Swapna's channel. She's really putting in a lot of efforts for you guys. So subscribe to her channel and share her videos.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching my video. And I'll see you in the next video then. Thank you for watching. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.